Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Living the Dream podcast. My name is Caitlin, and if you're new here, thank you. If you are returning, thank you. I do apologize that it's been a little while since I last recorded. I've had a few technical difficulties, just a lot of different things going on, and I'll get into that in a moment. But what I do want to say is Happy New Year, first and foremost. 2024. We're super excited to be here for it. And I'm just very happy to be podcasting again. I do love doing this. And although this is only episode 2, very happy to be recording again. Finishing out 2023, I got very busy after I recorded that first episode just with all of my small business stuff. We did our big event at work and I did really well. I had probably over 100 orders that I fulfilled within just a couple of weeks. So it was a very busy month for me in terms of just trying to get a lot of my small business stuff done. And then I did have a week off of work, which I decided would be dedicated to things that I wanted to do and more so just relaxing. I did clean up my house a lot. I did a lot of deep cleaning, but I did take basically the whole week and did not work on orders, did not work on anything really for my podcast or anything pertaining to work. I really just wanted to relax and end out the year just feeling really good. So that's what I did. So welcome back. If you are returning, again, like I said, if you're new here, thank you for tuning in. This is episode number 2. I'm going to be doing a Q&A today. So a while back, I had asked on my Instagram story for you guys to ask me some questions. And then probably within the next few weeks, I'm going to get a guest on and we'll start with our guest interviews. Like I did mention in the first episode, I'm not only going to have guests, but I will have some solo episodes as well. And I just thought this would be a good one to do just because starting out the new year, just kind of a way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, ask me things that you want to know about me, whatever it might be. So before we get into that, I do want to just say, I apologize that this is coming out so late. I recorded this, probably a week ago, and got through probably about 90% of the episode, and I realized my recording device died. And by died, I don't mean it needed the batteries changed. Like, it just would not let me record. As soon as I pressed record, it shut off. So I was dealing with their support and trying to get that all figured out. It took me a little while to actually get that figured out. And I was very upset because I got through a good amount of these questions and now we're re-recording. So we're doing that. I also woke up this morning to a notification basically saying that my Facebook has been deactivated because an Instagram account associated with it has been violating community guidelines. An Instagram account that isn't even mine. So my Facebook got hacked, that's shut down, and it's nearly impossible to get in touch with somebody from Meta. So from what I found, I had to sign up for Meta Verified, pay $15 a month, and that's how you can get in contact with their support. So I did that this morning. Hopefully in the next few days, my Facebook is back up. It's just been a lot of technical difficulties going on lately. That's what I will say. So we're here. We're ready to go. The last little disclaimer I will give is if you are watching on YouTube, please don't mind this soundproofing behind me. I know it looks really just not great. I will fix it. It's just I haven't gotten around to it, okay? I'll get around to it. I'll make it look a little bit better, but I am in my basement, so give me a break. But we're going to jump right into this Q&A. I do want to just say thank you guys for everyone who did listen to my first episode. Truly appreciate it. I did expect that, the people close to me, my family, my friends, things like that, people would support me, but the amount of support that I did receive was just incredible. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you haven't listened to that episode, go give it a listen. It's only about 20 minutes long. It's pretty short, but I just kind of went over what this podcast is going to be about, how I came up with the name, and a little bit about my small business and myself as well. So go give that a listen if you haven't yet. So jumping right into this Q&A, like I said, I basically asked you guys a little while back for some questions, and everybody that submitted a question, I have your names in this little bin here, and I'll draw at the end for somebody to win a gift card. So if you are watching, you can see that I actually have the names here, and you'll be able to see the drawing at the end of the episode. Jumping right into these questions. First question is, what was your childhood like? I'm not going to lie, I did have to ask my mom a little bit about this, because if you know me, you know that I say all the time, I do not remember a lot about my childhood. However, the things that I do remember, so I'm the middle child. I have an older brother and a younger sister. My mom raised us as a single mother. My parents have been divorced since I think I was like 3. So growing up, me and my brother and my sister, we were all very active kids. We did so many different sports and different activities. I personally feel like I tried literally every sport. I know at one point I tried tennis, didn't really work out, but I did do basketball, volleyball, softball. I did figure skating from like probably age maybe 5 or 4 to like 14. So I did that. And once I got into high school, not high school. Once I got into middle school, I did cheer all through high school. I also played soccer growing up and through high school. I did a lot of different things, gymnastics, dance, like everything that you can think of. I probably did at one point or another as a child. That was a lot of my childhood, was just sports. And my sister also did cheer. She did skating as well. She did tennis. My brother did hockey. He did tennis, golf, all of these different things. So we were just constantly on the go, doing different things, going to games, whatever it was. Honestly, shout out to my mom, because she made sure that we were always taken care of, always on time at our sports. Whatever it was, she never would make it seem like we weren't going to be able to participate in something because she was a single mother. And my mom is also a teacher, so it's not like we grew up with a lot of money. If you know, you know, like teachers do not make a lot of money. We were very fortunate, and I'm very grateful that my mom always put us first. She always made sure that we were doing the things that we wanted to do. And I was also very blessed, because even through high school and things, I never had to work a job or anything like that. It was always just like, as long as I was doing something to stay active and involved at school, I didn't have to do a job. So I was very grateful for those aspects of my childhood. We also did travel a decent amount. With my mom being a teacher, she obviously had the summers off, so that was really cool. We used to go to North Carolina every summer. My mom's friend lives down there, so we would go stay with her and her daughter and travel down there. We also would go camping a lot. For skating or for hockey tournaments for my brother, we would travel out of state sometimes as well. So we did a lot of traveling. One thing my mom did mention, which I do not recall at all, was we used to go in the summer with my aunt and my cousins, and she said that we would go on a field trip every week to somewhere different. I'm sure somewhere educational, because they're both teachers. And then we would have like a picnic in the park, which I thought was like really cute. And we would go camping with them as well. So we grew up camping a lot, traveling, and just really being active kids. So I'm very grateful to that. And honestly, shout out to my mom, because she made it all happen. So that is kind of what my childhood was like. Okay, question 2 is, do you have any defining moments that made you who you are today? I'm sure I probably have multiple defining moments. I think the one that I would recall the most is just during the pandemic. I really kind of went through it during the pandemic. I mentally was struggling a lot. I was going through quite a few different things. I was spending a lot of time by myself and I just was not doing well. Working from home was not great for me. Just not having social interaction with other people was tough for me. And I think that those difficult times really made me who I am. Not in its full extent, obviously, but it played a big role in a lot of the independence that I have today. I had to learn just kind of how to rely on myself. I had to learn what things I like to do, what things trigger me, or, just all the different things about myself. I really did a lot of work on myself during that time. I did a lot of journaling. I was going to therapy. So that was a big defining moment for me, was just those couple months that I was at home for the pandemic. I spent a lot of time just really figuring out who I was, and from there, I gained a new sense of independence and just being able to be comfortable with myself and finding out the things that I like and that make me happy and just doing things for myself that I've never really done before. So that was a big defining moment. I also did take a few solo trips post-pandemic. So I believe 2021 and 22, I took 2 solo trips. The first one was to Phoenix, and I spent, I believe, like 4 or 5 days there, just kind of exploring and just doing things on my own. And again, that was something that allowed me to really gain my independence and understand, like, I can do these things on my own. I don't need other people to make me happy. I don't need other people to rely on to do these things. I also went to Gatlinburg, and that one I did a road trip. So I drove down there by myself. I stayed and explored the city and just did different activities every day. That was also a defining moment, I would say. Those both helped me grow a lot as a person and shape me for who I am. The last thing I'd probably say is my mom and my grandma both have been very influential women in my life. Like I said, my mom raised us as a single mother. She worked very, very hard to make sure that we were taken care of, that we still got to have a lot of fun in our childhood. And my grandma is also an amazing woman. She has the most kind heart and genuine personality of literally anybody I know. She's so open-minded, and I think I get a lot of my kindness and my empathy and my open-mindedness from her. So I'm very grateful to the both of them for helping to shape me to be the woman that I am. So I would definitely say that not only did I have those defining moments, but I also had those defining women in my life that really helped shape me to be the person I am today. The next question is, what is your why? So this is something that if you work with me, we talk about what's your why all the time at work. You obviously need to have a why and a reasoning behind why you want to reach a certain goal or certain things you want to do. And I think ultimately I just want to be happy in life. And I think this podcast is a great example. A lot of people ask me, like, why do you want to do a podcast? And it's not that I'm looking to do this as another business avenue. Of course, I would love to have sponsorships and brand deals and things like that. But doing a podcast is a lot of work. And I think it's just, it makes me happy. It's fun for me to do. It's fun to edit and do those kinds of things. And I like to share this information with people or just talk to people, learn about people and things like that. And I think ultimately my why is just doing things that make me happy. I think with my small business as well, not only does that make me happy because I'm able to create different things that make other people happy, but I bring that joy to people and I help make that positive impact on them as well. Just being able to spread positivity and not only make other people happy, but ultimately make myself happy is my why for everything that I do. I just want to have a positive impact, make others happy, and just make myself happy and live a happy life. The next question we have, question number 4, is what makes you feel inspired or motivated? This, I think, kind of goes along with what's your why. I have always been a very self-motivated person through college, through my childhood, like all of these different things. I always just was very self-motivating in the sense of I didn't really need somebody to say, like, you have to do this if you want to be successful. I just kind of figured those things out. I've always been a very hard worker and just have wanted to continuously grind and do all of these different things. I mean, I look back at high school, I was not relaxing my senior year taking all these blow off classes. Like, I was still taking Spanish 4, anatomy, like all of these tougher classes. Through college, I was taking 18 credit hours, working 3 jobs, coaching, like I was grinding. And now into my adult life, it's like I work full time. I have a small business. I have this podcast. I still make time for personal life. And I think just being happy again and just motivating myself to want to live out the things that I want to do, if that makes sense. Like, people ask me all the time, where do you find the time to work on these orders or like do this small business? And I'm just very self-motivated. Like, I just want to get it done. I like the feeling of working hard on something and completing that project. And honestly, the grind just never stops for me. I know that's very cliche to say, but I work very, very hard at the things that I like doing, but I also enjoy the things that I do. So I think that that makes it obviously so much easier for me. Question number 5 is, how do you stay organized with your job, business, podcast, and personal life? This is a great question, and I will tell you it took me a while to kind of nail down exactly the best way to stay organized for myself. And I have a few different techniques that I use. So the first one being, I have a planner. I've always been the planner type. I write everything down. I like to plan out my days. The planner that I bought for 2024 is actually amazing. It is completely customizable. So I was able to tailor it to exactly what I wanted in there. And I mean, we're not that far into 2024, but it has already been a game changer for me. I also take time on Sundays, maybe Mondays if I don't have time for it on Sundays, but usually on Sundays I take some time to plan out the week ahead. I plan out my content for the week. I'll plan out my workouts. I'll plan out different things that I have going on, extracurriculars, what I need to do, any orders I have to fulfill, any editing, things like that. I will plan them out and put them with certain days, and then I just stick to that plan. So just taking that couple of hours at the beginning of the week, that really helps me a lot. And then I also utilize Google Drive a lot because obviously you can access Google Drive from your phone, your computer, literally wherever. So if I'm working on, let's say, my content for the upcoming week on my computer, and then I'm at work and I'm like, oh, I forgot I want to post this at this point this week, I can just go on my phone real quick, edit that in the Google Drive, whatever. Like, I have that very easily accessible. So I'll do that. And then the reminders app on my phone, you guys, I'm telling you, if you don't properly use your reminders app, what are you doing? Because this has been a game changer for me. I have an iPhone and I used to always just set reminders for different things. But then I saw this TikTok and this girl explained how you can make different lists in your reminders. In those lists, you can have different categories, and within those categories, you can make checklist items and sub items. And honestly, like, I will do a whole tutorial on this. I've been thinking maybe I'll make a TikTok on this, but it is such a game changer. I'm telling you guys, I use that all the time. I have a set list for my podcast, and within that list, I have content, I have new ideas, I have all these different subcategories. And then I have one for, let's say, my house and the cleaning I need to do and different rooms in my house or future projects. And the list goes on, literally, but it helps me stay so organized. And just with the way that my brain works, I'm able to categorize everything and just have it all in one spot. And it's just amazing. That's what I do. I use my planner, plan out the week ahead, Google Drive, and reminders. And that's what works for me. I highly encourage you to just kind of figure out what works best for you in terms of planning, because it's going to be different for everybody. Everybody's brain works differently. That's what works for me. I can preach it all day, but you have to figure out what works best for you. If you ever need help or suggestions on this kind of stuff, please reach out to me, because I love talking about different organization techniques. So please reach out to me. All right. What makes someone a winner? That's our next question. What makes someone a winner? Honestly, I think it's obviously very subjective, and thinking about if you're a quote unquote winner, it can be defined in many different ways. I think just being able to set your goals and make them measurable so that you can understand if you're achieving the things that you set out to do, that's what can make you a winner. I know, again, if you work with me, we say all the time, winners win. And being able to set goals every week, every month, every year, whatever it is, and then look and see if those are measurable. Can you determine if you achieve those goals? Were they big goals? Were they small goals? Like, how well did you achieve them? Did you exceed your goals? That's what makes somebody a winner. Set your goals. I'm huge on goals. I do it every week. I do it every month. Reflect on your goals, see how you did, and that will kind of determine if you need to tweak anything. But ultimately, set your goals and achieve them. That's how you win. Next question is, when did you know you reached the next level? Honestly, I don't know that I have reached the next level. I don't know that I ever will feel completely fulfilled with the things that I do, or if I'll be able to be like, okay, I can simmer down now because I got to that point that I wanted to be. Because it's like, once I reach that level, I'm like, okay, what's next? You know, like, I never slow down. But I think when I was thinking about this question, something that clicked in my mind was when I started seeing people wearing my apparel for my small business. I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's such a cool feeling. It's honestly very surreal, especially people that I don't particularly know personally, because that just means they like the product. Like, I didn't have to really get to know someone, or I know that they aren't wearing it because they just want to like support me personally, which if you support me because we're friends or family or whatever, I appreciate you just as much, if not more. But just seeing people wear something that I created is so cool. And I see it at work pretty often, or people will reach out to me and be like, I saw 5 different people wearing To Die For today. And it's just so cool. So just seeing stuff like that, I think, makes me think, okay, I've really been doing something cool here. And I guess that's probably the best answer for that. But again, I don't know what the defining levels are for reaching this level, that level, whatever it is. But right now, I'm just striving to always get there. And, you know, once we get to the next level, we'll just be striving to get to the level after that. Question number 8 is, how do you stay positive during rough times? This is a good question. I think ultimately it's all about mindset. If you have a positive mindset, that is everything. Positive mindset is what will get you through the good times, the bad times, whatever it is. Obviously, have people to lean on and support you, but ultimately, you are going to be the one that determines your success, your day, your mood, those kinds of things. And being able to have a positive mindset, it's not something that's easy to do by any means. But I say this all the time. It is very easy to have a positive mindset when things are going right, but it's when you're faced with adversity, how you react, that's what matters. Because if you are faced with something that's difficult to go through, or something super negative, or you even just have a bad day, how do you react to that? Do you sit there and sulk? Do you complain a lot? Do you gossip or spread negativity? Or do you take a minute, breathe, and get back on track with your positive thinking? Because if you're going through something rough, that's what's going to set you apart and be able to help take you to that next level or whatever it is. If you just sit there and you're being negative or you're sulking, that's not doing any good for anyone. You're just bringing everybody around you down. You're not having a good impact on others. You're spreading negativity. We don't need all of that stuff. There's enough negativity going on in this world right now. All we need is some positivity. We need some good people. And that is honestly the key. The other thing for me is that I pray a lot. I pray multiple times a day. If you know, you know. But I pray all the time. And there's a lot of things that can impact us negatively that are completely out of our control. So it's like, why are we going to worry about them? You know, I believe in God, so I leave that stuff to God to handle, and I focus on the things I can control, and I focus on the things that God has blessed me with. And I do live a very blessed life, even when I do feel, you know, that things aren't fair. I feel very negative one day, or even if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I'm just cranky. Like, we have those moments, but I stop and I reflect on the blessings that I do have and what I'm grateful for. And that helps me a lot. So pray, think about your blessings, and just have that positive mindset that will not only help you in the moment, but it will just help you in the long run. And if you practice having a positive mindset when you're faced with adversity, it will just become a natural thing to be able to flip that switch when things are going wrong. You won't have to consciously think about it. So keep that in mind. Next question is, what is your biggest goal for the upcoming new year? So it's obviously 2024 now when I'm recording this. I have a lot of goals. I'm not going to lie. Like I said earlier, I'm big into goals, and I went through before the new year and I wrote out business goals, podcast goals, personal goals, physical goals, mental health goals, work-related goals. Like, I have so many different goals, but I think ultimately with anything I do, my biggest goal is to leave a positive impact. With anything that I'm working on, any interaction that I have, anything that I'm putting out on social media, I want to make sure that I'm having the most positive impact on people. You hear it all the time. You don't know what people are going through. So even if it's just smiling at someone when I walk past them, or if it's creating something or bringing someone's vision to life and creating that with my business, or putting these podcast episodes out and helping to brighten up somebody's day, whatever it is, I just want to make a positive impact. And that's the biggest thing for me. The next question is, what has been going on in your life recently that you expected and also didn't expect? I don't know if I interpreted this question correctly, but the way that I interpreted it is, what is something that I expected to happen, but maybe happened much better / worse than what I expected, and then in turn, I didn't expect that. I don't know. But I think the way that I interpreted it is, with the support that I receive, I obviously expect that the people close to me are going to support me, whether that's my friends, my family, with my business, my podcast, whatever it is. I expect that people close to me are going to support me. But what I don't expect is the people that I'm not super close with, when they start supporting, or when I have people I haven't talked to in years saying, oh, I listened to your podcast, or they're buying stuff off my website. Like, that's the stuff that I don't expect, but it is so appreciated, and it truly means everything to me. I promise you. So that's kind of how I took that question. I hope that was correct, but yeah. The next question is, what is your favorite book and why? So I read a lot of different genres of books. I do read some fiction, some romance, some self-development, So this question was a little bit difficult for me, but I have a couple suggestions slash some of my top favorite books. Favorite like self-development books are Take Command. I forget who writes it, but you know what? I think his name is John Hart, maybe Brian Hart, something Hart. Take Command. It is a book just about taking control over your life and different things that you can do to make a positive impact or grow yourself personally. And I also liked QBQ. I have no idea who wrote that one, couldn't tell you, but that's also another good one. QBQ is Question Behind the Question. And it's just basically about taking personal accountability. So, for example, if you're thinking, why did so and so treat me so badly? You can then flip that question and think, well, what did I do to impact that person's decision? Or is there something from that person's perspective that I could have helped them out with more? So it really helps you see different perspectives for people. And Take Command is just a really good book as well. So I highly recommend both of those. In terms of fiction, I did a lot of reading last year. After I read The Housemaid book by Frida McFadden, I loved that book. If you have not read that book, what are you doing? Go read it. It is so good. It took me probably 2 or 3 days to read that book. I got onto a Frida McFadden kick and I read, I'm not even joking, probably 12 of her books, and they only took me a few days each. So I loved The Housemaid and The Perfect Son. That was also a really good one. Those books just really have a good plot twist, and we love a good plot twist, you know. Definitely recommend those as well. Next question is, who would you like to play you in a movie? This one was hard because, one, I don't really know a lot of actresses' names. I'm not like into pop culture like that. I don't really know a lot. However, I think that Jennifer Lawrence would be a really good person to play me in a movie just because she's really funny. I'm also really funny. And she's just kind of like a bad bleep, you know? Like, she's just like really cool. And that's kind of how I think I am. Like, I'm pretty cool and funny. And I just really like her. So I think Jennifer Lawrence, yeah, I think she'd be cool. The next question is, what made you start To Die For? So I kind of talked about this in the first episode of my podcast, but I really I've always been pretty crafty, and I just like coming up with new things or learning new things, coming up with new designs, whatever it is, and just really making them come to life. Like this is also something that I made, and I just did this because, I don't know, I saw somebody do it on TikTok and I was like, I can do that. I am very much a person that's like, if I can do something myself, I'm just going to learn it and do it myself. I don't want to pay someone else to do it. Now, I'm all about supporting small businesses as well, but like, come on, look how cute this is, okay? So yeah, there's more about that in the first episode. If you haven't listened to it, go listen. Where would you like to see To Die For go in the next 5 years? I definitely want to keep growing. I would love to do this full time. However, I think it'll be 5+ years before that happens. But I definitely want to keep growing, especially on social media. That's a big goal of mine for 2024, is to continue growing on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. And so I'm going to continue working towards that. I don't know what it is. Instagram like really just is not liking me lately. And I feel like they're not really showing my business posts to a lot of people. So this is my little disclaimer. If you see my business posts on Instagram, please can you just like it or comment so that it can get some more engagement, so Instagram can boost me in the algorithm? Please. That's the least that you can do. You know, if you don't want to buy things from me, that's okay, but supporting me on social media is free. Thank you. I would love to keep growing and coming up with new ideas. Eventually, I do want to get into repurposing thrifted items or getting an embroidery machine and being able to do embroidered items that way. So those are some goals that I have. I don't know if I will get to that this year because that stuff is expensive, but in the next few years, hopefully. Where do you find balance between enjoying the craft and meeting profit goals. So she had a little bit more, and I'll kind of give a little background about this question. She was kind of mentioning that when she does different things, sometimes she feels like it's just a business thing and not so much enjoying the passion of creating these things. And honestly, I think that because my business model is designed around making things the way you want or unique to you, it really helps me to enjoy things because I'm able to create new things all the time. I just got done working on a bulk order for someone who wanted to make some hoodies and t-shirts and things for their son's business. And so I had to create the logo and kind of go back and forth with her on just different looks and different ideas and options. And it was just so fun for me. Like, that's literally what I spent my Saturday night doing, was talking with this woman about exactly how she wanted this logo to look. And she was giving me feedback and just helping me tweak things. And I just thoroughly enjoy that. I think that just bringing those different visions to life or getting those new ideas, that is what helps me stay happy and stay enjoying doing what I do. And I think the profit just follows. I think people can see that I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very helpful and open-minded to the things that I want to do. And because of that, the profit just comes with it. So I'm very blessed for that. And last question is, what is your favorite product to make? So this is kind of ironic because one of my favorite things to make is doing custom shoes, like Nike shoes, but I don't do them that often. I love doing custom painted Nikes, like Air Force Ones. And luckily enough, I do have a very large order. I'm not going to say exactly who it's for, but it's about 30 pairs of Air Force Ones I have sitting in my office right now. And I will be working on those in the next few weeks. So I'm very excited for that because, again, it's my favorite order. But yeah, I love making shoes. I don't know why. I think they're just so fun. And what I do for shoes is I mock them up before I actually work on them. So I send the customer a couple different design options with price points and things like that, and they're able to pick exactly what they like. So just the whole process of designing them, coming up with different ideas, and then bringing those to life and just like painting them is really fun. And yeah, I think probably doing the shoes is my favorite. I'm excited to work on this big bulk order of shoes that I have, and probably in the next couple of episodes, or if you follow me on social media, you'll see who this order is for, and it's pretty exciting. I'll give you a hint. It's a sports team. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. All right, so that was all of the questions. Again, thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. I'm going to go ahead and do this little drawing. I'm going to mix these up. You can hear them mixing up if you're not watching on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to pick someone, and this person is going to win a $25 Target gift card. I have the person right here. Before I announce it, I do want to just say, I think going forward in a lot of my episodes, I'm probably going to do something similar to this, where I do some sort of drawing or raffle to win something. So follow me on social media if you don't already, because that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of the stuff. So follow me. Instagram is _living the dream pod. So please go follow. If you want to go support my small business on Instagram or TikTok, it's _shop to die for. Please go like my post. Please go comment. Help me out, you guys. Instagram literally hates me, and it's really kind of annoying. So, all right, here we go. Our winner is Erica. Yay, Erica. I will get with Erica. And honestly, Erica's a really good person because she submitted a couple different questions, and I work with Erica. We love her. Erica, I will get you your gift card, girl. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. I am just hoping to get so much better in 2024 with podcasting and everything else. I appreciate you guys so much for your support and everything. Again, if you would like to follow me on social media, it's linked down below. And I will see you guys in a few weeks for our next episode. Thanks for tuning in.